Hours after the Security Council's resolution, senior rebel leaders handed over the black box flight recorders to Malaysian experts.
SBS reporter Ben Lewis is in Kiev and joins us now live. Ben, after several chaotic days, it seems we're finally seeing some action.
Absolutely, Anton. There has been frustration after frustration here in Ukraine for the past few days. Security concerns kept air crash investigators away from the wreckage site, and there were fears that the flight recorders were going to be handed by the rebels straight to the Russian government. But in the past 24 hours, some very positive developments. There is now a ceasefire in place around the wreckage site, although fighting does continue in some parts of Donetsk. And as you said, the all-important black box recorders have been handed over by the separatists to Malaysian investigators in a very public way. These flight data recorders had been in rebel hands for days, but finally there is progress. The Prime Minister of the self-proclaimed People's Republic of Donetsk agreeing to hand them back to Malaysian officials.
We've just signed a protocol that says Malaysia will give the boxes to experts at the International Civil Aviation Organization.
Australians were among the latest wave of experts to arrive in Ukraine to visit the crash site, but those who have seen it remain convinced that some of the evidence has been tampered with.
We did not see any perimeter security. One of the largest debris, this appears to be the big cone section to the right of the road, had someone been split or moved apart.
Borodai clearly angry with the international observers.
It got to the point where it resembled, if not a horror movie, then black humor. When an old woman comes to our rebel groups and says, "Look, there is a body of a headless man fell through the roof straight onto my bed. Please take this man away." But the rebels say no, because they are following instructions.
The OSCE denies advising such a course of action. Borodai has also dismissed any evidence of Russian separatists being involved in the crash, including intercepted phone conversations and a tweet connected to the Donetsk People's Republic saying it had taken control of a Ukrainian missile system.
It is very simple to disprove it. All of the information that comes through the internet, in my opinion, is practically all lies.
A ceasefire has been called within a 10-kilometre radius of the site, but in nearby Donetsk, sporadic fighting continues. Terrified civilians flee as separatists close off the streets. Anger and nerves spilling over as a man walking too slow for their liking is shoved and berated. Shelling and sniper fire have become commonplace here. 3 people were killed in this playground outside an apartment complex. Not all of its residents support the rebels, but some are blaming the Ukrainian army for a strike that has destroyed their building.
The president is hitting his own people.
My child is afraid of everything. She can't sleep.
In the middle of a global tragedy, stories of local agony. Prayers for safety have so far gone unanswered as the gears of war keep on turning. The bodies of those who died on flight MH17 have now begun the long journey home. The train carrying the remains is on its way to the Ukrainian-controlled town of Kiev. There, the bodies will be put on a military plane and transported to Amsterdam for identification. Prime Minister Tony Abbott has described it as Operation Bring Them Home, and we warn that some viewers may find images in this report distressing.
On platform 1 of Taurus Station.
And we understand the train will arrive in Kharkiv within the next hour. I'm joined now by Dateline's Mark Davis. Mark, you sat down for an exclusive one-on-one interview with the Ukrainian Prime Minister. What did he have to say?
Well, like all the government officials here, he's in a pretty sombre mood, but also an extremely ominous mood in my view. I got the distinct impression that there's going to be some vengeance served in the coming weeks. As you know, there's already been breakouts of fighting, but I think there's a very clear determination on behalf of this government to take on the separatists. But perhaps more disturbingly, the PM's attitude towards Russia. He's determined to involve them to the max.
Ukrainian-Russia tension is one of the key threats to the global security. And we need to act in concert, the entire global community, to de-escalate the situation and to bring to justice those responsible for this escalation.
Many thanks to Mark, and you can see his full interview with the Ukrainian Prime Minister on Dateline tonight at 9:30 on SBS 1. Anton and Janice.
Thanks, Ben. That's SBS reporters Ben Lewis and Mark Davis there updating us from Kiev.